I'm ChosenArchitect, and this is All The Mons. Spoiler, today's gonna be such an epic episode. Now today should be the day that I become mega powerful. Because just when you thought my automation thirst for power has been, well, quenched, you were wrong. Because even though our Pokemon now have the ability to reach max IVs in whatever stat we want, we still have to worry about our EVs, or effort values. And these are typically some of the hardest things to grind out, requiring you to defeat certain types of Pokemon and so on and so forth to just bring this up ever so much, all the way up to a value of like 200, for example. Like, I'm not even kidding. You could just spend time like taking down Magikarp and getting 1 point for each time you take it down. Thankfully, we have other ways that we can raise these. That, my friends, is through the power of PP. Okay, I seen you laugh. It is called PP, or PowerPoint Medicine. Yes, which is going to be the building block for all of our other types of medicines that we are going to be able to force feed to our Mons. Yes, very rockety, to be able to raise their stats. But now the hardest part about this is crafting them, because it all starts by brewing. To be able to make PP, we are going to need Vivichoke, and we're going to need medical brews. And to be able to make medical brews, we need medical leaks. And it does say mixed potions, but really this just means water bottles. Or you could go the expensive route and also use water bottles inside of a campfire pot. Now, I do plan on using brewing stands for this automation, and as much as I would really love to use the potion brewer for this and get all of the industrial foregoing set up for this, unfortunately, the potion brewer just doesn't accept these leaks. And if we try to, for example, use water bottles, the leak just doesn't work. And I think there is a conflict currently, but as you can see right here, the leak is in here, the water bottles are in here, and nothing. But if we were to put the water bottles over here and the leaks over here, notice this is working just fine. So rip the potion brewer on this setup. But don't worry, I'll come back to you in the future. To automate this though, I'm going to use SFM, of course. And what I'm going to call this is the SFM hallway right here. Between these two rooms, we are utilizing SFM in a modular fashion. And I'm having a blast using this mod. Now, believe me, I won't be using this for everything, because this is really only for those weird fringe cases where the slots and sides act really, really weird, and it's not something that's easily automatable with Applied Energistics directly. Now, also, I did mention that things are going to get a little bit mega today, and that's because I also plan on mega evolving Charizard. Once we get all the stats set, I think this is going to be a fantastic thing, which is going to revolve around journeying to be able to get all of the things to be able to mega evolve them. But we also can mega evolve many other Mons, so that's definitely going to be on the list as well. But let's get back to how we can automate this brewing stand. To do this, we need to understand how a brewing stand works in the first place. First of all, we can put blaze powder either in this side or also in this side, and both sides can fill this up and fill into this slot. But another weird thing is also both of these sides can send water bottles into it. But notice the water bottles disappeared. And that's because hoppers can indiscriminately pull out of this brewing stand, which is quite unfortunate. It'll pull out anything that goes into the bottom. And it is directional. You do need the hopper either on the bottom or the sides. You can actually pull from the sides of a brewing stand. But if you want to send items into the top slot, well, that is where the hopper comes in into play for the top of it. You need to have this sending into the top of the machine. So with all of this in mind, there's a simple solution to this. One is making sure that whenever we send ingredients, we have two separate sides that are sending things to this, and also making sure we have some sort of filter pulling the items out of the actual stand. Now, notice though, behind me, this is where things get kind of odd. You could use Applied Energistics to definitely import and export and do all kinds of fun stuff with this. You do have to make sure that the top is receiving items and all of that stuff. But it does take up a lot of space, and that's where SFM is really nice, because I can handle all sides of this machine from just touching it from any side. Now, as stated in all of the other videos, if you are looking for the SFM code, I will have it over on the Discord. Check the pins because this is probably going to be the last set of SFM code that I do post, and we're going to have two separate ones, one for actually automating the PP up, and then one for automating all of the carbos, which is going to be very similar to the setup that we did last episode. Now, to get started, this back wall is going to be for automating the PP up. Yes, as funny as that sounds, we are going to be automating the PP up, and this is going to be stored on this wall. To do this, though, we're going to have multiple sets of automation that needs to happen. First, we need to make the medicinal brew. To do this, it is a leak, and we also need water bottles, which also means we need blaze powder somewhat automated. We also need to automate the water bottle production in some way, and then also sending of the leaks. Those are all things that need to happen. And I think on this side, what I'm going to do is brew 6 potions each. And so I'm going to have the base PP up automated. We're going to have 6 of those working. And then also I'm going to have 6 brewing stands making the medicinal brew. Now for the fun part, actually getting the staging set up. So what I'm doing here is I am getting all of the base materials that we're going to need set up and making sure we have those being sent with our applied energistics system. For example, I'm going to have my leaks here and then also my Vivichoke. And then I also have a crafter, and this crafter is going to be handling the crafting of blaze rods into blaze powder and also glass bottles. It's going to be making glass bottles, and it's also going to be crafting them directly into water bottles. Now, an interesting way to do this with the crafter is let's first start by, let's say we are going to send glass into this, and we need it to make bottles. So we are going to go ahead and say, make some bottles. But I want this to go back into the internal inventory here, or the main inventory. And so this is going to craft glass into bottles. And so it does need a place for these bottles to go. Then what we want is we want to craft water. We want to craft the bottles with water essence. So I can just send water essence. Now this is going to craft water bottles, which we do want to send out here. And so we just need to simply hit apply, and it's going to be sent to the export here. And then we want a slot for blaze rods. And here we're going to say just simply convert blaze rods into blaze powder and also send it out. But another thing we want to do is set our filters just to make sure that there is space for these two products. So I'm going to put these in the output here, and then I'm going to fill all of these particular slots with cobblestone, and then I'm going to hit remember. And what it should do is remember that these slots have inventory space for these particular items. And this is incredibly important for making sure that there is always a slot for these items, because otherwise it can break. And so this really simplifies things, meaning we only need glass, water, and blaze rods. And technically blaze rods are going to require a craft in order to make, and we could have just sent blaze rod essence in here to do all of this craft. So you know what? That's probably a good idea to do. So you know what? To be able to do this, down here, we'll add a new recipe. We'll shift right click to change that position, hit remember to make sure blaze essence goes in here. And then this will set a new recipe to make blaze rods and make sure it's set to go into the internal. And there we go. So now we have far fewer things that are being crafted on our AE system's end. The only thing that does need to be crafted is glass, but this gets made so quickly that it's not really going to be that big of a deal. But to get it to actually produce glass when we run out, we're going to need a crafting card. What this will do is if we run out of glass in our storage, this is going to automatically force an auto craft to happen to be able to make sure this inventory gets the items. Now, to be able to pull the items into the barrel, I'm going to, instead of using SFM here, I'm just going to use a puller card, and we're going to pull from the upside of this barrel. So that way, if there is anything in here, it is going to pull it automatically into this barrel like so. Now, I figured you'd probably want to see this, but essentially to break down what I am doing on this, I'm just working step by step and taking all of the steps. So we're moving blaze powder to all of the brewing stands. This is the first step, and I'm just pulling from what I'm going to be calling a blaze and bottle inventory, which is combined from functional storage, just holding those two different things. And we're going to only allow one blaze powder to remain inside of its inventory. Of course, it's going to fill up, but then it's only going to keep one in the slot. It's just to help not really use and keep 64 in the stack. But it's just going to ascend to the stand, and it's going to specifically go into slot 4. This is where I'm going to define it to go into this particular slot. After that, it's going to forget all of that input information, and then we move on to the next line, which is then going to input from there. It's also going to input the leaks, and this is where it's going to output the leaks. It's only going to send one into that top slot and just keep that there, which is going to be more than fine. And then this is going to go into our brewing stand. So we're going to have 2 separate labels. All stands are going to receive this first one, and then we're going to have these, which are going to be defined as what they are actually doing. So this is the medical brewing stand, or the medicinal brewing stand. This one, however, I'm defining the top side because I just showed earlier, and this is a way that you can tell it, hey, to only send these items into the top side of the block. And so this is just one of the many ways. And if you wanted to see all of the examples for slots and size, you can see that right here. We have top side, west side, bottom side. You can define it all like that. But from these inputs, I'm also taking the water out of here, and we're going to send that also to the brewing stand. This one, I don't think I have to define the sides because the sides should be able to accept it, and I don't expect it to automatically try to send to the top side, but we could define a specific cardinal direction. I'm just going to see how this works for right now without it. I think it's going to work just fine. But then after that, we forget yet again to make sure that our inputs are just fine. And then we're going to pull from the mechanical brew or the medicinal brewing stand. And this is where we're going to send that medicinal brew into the next setup, which is going to be making the PP. So we're essentially taking the Vivichoke from the Vivichoke inventory, and we are going to retain the top. Same thing we did for the other side. And then this is going to also send the medicinal brew to this side. And then finally, we just need to pull out of the PP brew stand and send that into an output inventory. And so that should be it. And all we have to do now is pull our labels and then open up our labels and just start to define everything. So we do know that all of these are going to be called stands, and you can hold down Control and click to select multiple, just like that. All of those are labeled stand, but I'm going to work from the bottom. So we are going to also label our medicinal brew stands, and these are going to be the ones down here on the bottom. And then our other stands, if I open this up, is the PP brew stands, which are going to be the ones up top here. You got to make sure you click on these stands correctly, by the way. There we go. They are kind of hard to hit. Then we have a Vivichoke inventory, which is this one right here. And we also have a leak inventory, which is that one. Then we need our mixed blazon bottle inventory, which is that one right there. And then finally, we should have our output inventory, which is going to be our PP inventory. Yes, I know, all fun and games. Once we're done, we click that, and that should hopefully function. It looks like bottles may be a problem, pulling water bottles out. Okay, so we do have water bottles in this inventory, and I'm wondering... This does have bottle in the name, and I'm wondering if this is having problems pulling out of this dual inventory here. No, I just defined water instead of bottle, even though water is in the name. So actually, this may not be a problem. Actually, this might be where we do need to define either a side, or in this case, what we could do is we could define individual slot values. And you know what? Just to make this super simple, I'm just going to say north side and see... Does that fix the side sending issue? It does not. And so in this case, Control I to be able to see the slots. And so it's slots 0, 1, and 2. So I've also tried the sides, and I think it might be looking for potion, which is kind of odd. But if I go in here and I also, instead of this, I say potion, as it's in the name, and we say slot 1, that works. Okay, so instead of water bottle, it needs to look for potion. And then we remove all of that, and then now that fills all the slots. So yes, there are some weird cases like this where it might be better to use the actual ID here, but perfect. That's kind of what we want it to do. And there's our brew. Our brew gets sent over, and then that automation has now started. And it's a relief. So yes, we actually do not have to worry about any of the side configurations. That was just me kind of jumping to conclusions after not figuring the initial thing out. But there we go. All of this almost done. And what we should see is the PP right there, and it should end up in this drawer, which it did. You gotta love SFM. Now we still have to get the other side set up, which is going to be very similar to this setup, to be fair, and it's even going to utilize all of the same identifiers. But keep in mind, we are doing some mega stuff after this, so definitely stick around. Now for this automation, it's going to be one brewing stand at a time that is going to be doing all of the individual things like protein, for example, which is going to receive just one input at the top, but all of the bottoms are going to be filled up with these. These are all going to handle the PP, and we want to keep them constantly in stock in all of them. And we also want blaze powder to be kept in stock in all of them. So what we can do is we can use a storage controller to take the ingredients from right here and just send them over to here. So shift right click and we'll set both of these locations. And so now we can see the PP up in here and the blaze powder are all accessible from here, which then we can just use SFM, be able to pull those ingredients and keep them constantly filled. Then what we need to worry about is, just like on the other side, just simply sending the berry that we want and telling telling SFM which one of the berries goes in which one of the brewing stands. And then finally, that output, once it is finished, the output just needs to be taken out and sent into the pattern provider. And don't forget that the output is going to be needing a filter for this, because yes, we can indiscriminately pull from the bottom slot, which means that filtering is definitely necessary. So unfortunately, this SFM code is just going to require a lot of naming of the different berries, much like this code was, that just has a ton of different names associated here. Also, one thing, I definitely don't want to forget this because this can definitely mix you up. Make sure that the pattern provider is rotated in the direction so it doesn't accidentally send into a brewing stand. After a little bit of text editing work, basically I was able to take most of this code and kind of modify it by, just kind of save me some time by removing all of the retains and all of the eaches, and then also removing all of the base slots and really widowing this original code down to quite a little. So right here we have our HP up protein, iron, calcium. I went ahead and renamed everything. And then we're just simply pulling from the barrel, and we're going to be filtering right here by outputting the particular berry types to the particular stands. It's going to be defined as our HP stand, protein stand, for example. And then we're specifying specifically topside. And this time I'm not limiting how many can go in because we want to send as many as we are providing in here. It's also going to help limit on our chest if we did happen to request a bunch of these at once and of different types. Then at the very end, we're pulling out of the bottom side of all of our stands, because we're going to have two different stand variables. And we're pulling out of the bottom side, and we're pulling everything, and this is filtering, except the anything that has PP in the name. So this is going to pull anything that is not those PP potions, which is very, very nice. And then we just simply output it to what we define as our AE2, which in our case is going to be our pattern provider. And again, pulling the labels, we just simply shift right click, pull the labels. We can label this our AE2, this our barrel, and then we are going to have our controller, but I didn't actually call it controller. Instead, I called it Blaze PP inventory, just kind of indiscriminately, whatever you want to call it there. And then we just have a standard stand, which is just going to be all stands that are connected here. And then we just want to define these one at a time. And I'm just going to go in the order that I have defined, much like we did on this side, by the way. So I'm just going to say HP stand, like for example, is this one right here, and just continue on down the line one at a time. And with all said and done, we'll push this to the inventory, and now we just need to build recipes for each of these things. So HP up, it's going to be very simple. We're just going to send a berry and expect an output of not one, but actually 3 potions. We definitely want to make sure we define that and increase that. You middle mouse click, by the way, to be able to set this. Whatever your pick block is set to, keybind, should be what allows you to access this. And then into the pattern provider it goes. And now let's take a look at this. So if we go to Cobblemon and we search any of the, I don't know if we can do EV. Maybe we can do EV here. No, it doesn't show up the EV. Can we do EV? Okay, there we go. Okay, so all of these have EVs in them. And so let's say carbos, for example, we want 10 of those. I go ahead and hit the request, and I do see all of the PP in there. Perfect. Do we have the one being made? Yes, it is brewing. It's not the fastest solution. Like, this is just essentially brewing it on demand, but we could keep a certain amount in stock, and we can use a requester to technically do that. But I think just having this and like doing a bulk session of them Not a bad idea. I love that. I love this. It just works. It just works. Now let's actually go ahead and do like I've done to the rest of them and camouflage all of these in the back. And I want them to be cyan terracotta. To be able to do them all at once, you put the network tool in your offhand, which also allows you to see all of your cables, by the way. Really, really nice. And then what we can do is we can hit control, and this is going to take all that are connected. And so long as we click it with the block, it is going to apply to all connected cables all in one go. How nifty is that? And look how clean that is. You can't even tell there's SFM cables in the back. And this is some absolutely gorgeous automation back here. It just is super satisfying to me. Now, let's say I want a bunch of these. This automation could still work even with it not being request. All we have to do is just carry an exporter over here and just make sure we set our mode on here to export round robin. And then we just drag the berries in like so. And this is going to pull from our AE system. And what it's going to do is it should kick off a loop that is going to constantly loop all of our berries. And it's just going to supply this constantly until we think we have enough. And then I can just simply remove this, which is definitely what I want to do for now. I'm pretty excited about all this. Now with the ability to increase our Mons strength so much easier now, I think it's time to look into megas. And with our explorer's compass in hand, we can do @mega to see all of the individual structures that are from the, well, Mega Showdown mod, which is what adds these mega evolutions. And this is going to be really awesome for our Charizard and our Sceptile, which I know I mentioned I would love if it had a dragon typing. It actually gets a dragon typing when it does mega evolve, which is pretty awesome. And all of this stuff is going to be kind of grindy to go after. First things first, though, we do need to get ourselves a mega bracelet. So we need to go to a Megaroid. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It is an asteroid that is a mega asteroid, and hope that there is one nearby. And it just so happens to be one right over here, about 700 blocks. And these are usually just underground, but this compass is really powerful. And that, yeah, we could just find it just by locating and getting this as close to 0 as possible and mining straight down. So what exactly am I after? Well, I'm after getting myself a mega bracelet, and this is what's going to allow us to mega evolve. But there's still some other things we're going to have to get. For example, a mega stone. But getting this initial keystone is the first step. So now if I mine down with a small tunnel, I would say we are going to reach this point pretty quickly. We should fall right into the room that this resides in. Just gotta keep on mining, and there we go. Perfect. So this is the thing we're looking for, and if we mine straight into it, we should encounter a keystone. And so I don't think it matters if you mine it with fortune or what have you, but as soon as we mine this, we will get ourselves the keystone, which is basically everything we need. And then if we want this, I think for decoration, we can go ahead and grab some of this Megaroid block. It looks like it's just a nice building block. Now, to keep on theme with Team Rocket, they would probably have used a black band, to be fair. But I'm going to go with a red band to kind of accent the black outfit that I have on. And so I am going to craft the red mega bracelet. Very, very nice. Now, we cannot use this just yet. First, we have to technically have our Mon hold one of these mega stones. But what we can do is we can equip this and put it inside of our mega band slot, which I have no idea where this is supposed to go, unless it goes in some other slot that is associated with this. It doesn't go in a curio slot, it goes somewhere else. Aha, and interesting, it goes in a very special slot that's hidden right here where it says open accessories screen. And whenever you scroll down to the very bottom, you can see right here is the mega bracelet. So it looks like there's also a lot of other slots for other things, including Dynamax. And so, yeah, all kinds of other accessories. So this must be related specifically to the Cobblemon stuff. But now we have a shiny little band on our wrist. And it's on our left hand, apparently. And wait a minute, is that who I think it is that just spawned right here? You know what? I will definitely take it. All right, Riolu. I mean, we're battling it out. Come here. We're doing this. Honestly, I'm just gonna go straight for the catch because I would really prefer to catch it. And oh my gosh, you're adorable too. Are you riding on the flower? Goodness, this mod, I tell you. And there we go. I mean, Beautiful. That's a really nice mon as well. I mean, I find this kind of funny because there is also a Lucario Mega Evolution. So now, speaking of the item that the mon needs to hold in order to allow for the Mega Evolution, these things right here are going to require a special item, depending on what they are, and then they're also going to require a Mega Stone. And to be able to get the Mega Stone, well, is kind of a grind. And that's because these are also located in meteors, and you only get one. And you find these in mega sites. And yeah, we do have one nearby, which is kind of nice. But after we find this, I mean, we're going to have to move far, far away probably to be able to find another one. If we plan on having more than one mon with mega evolutions. Oh, and yet again, we are definitely going to want to do a small tunnel and mine all the way down till we get to it. And there it is yet again. So yes, mining right down into the center, we will encounter a mega crystal. This weird thing. This is a tentacle looking thing down in here. But yes, this is the thing we're going to mine. Now, fortune, like I said, I don't think matters because we're just going to get one. And so now we have ourselves a mega stone, but in these, you also have like some of these different evolution stones, which is kind of nice. So after you find your first one, honestly, the hardest part is just figuring out what mon are you going to want to mega like right off the bat. For me, I kind of want to mega our Charizard if I can. Like, I feel like our Charizard would be one of the best to do because it has probably one of the coolest looking megas. Well, at least for the starters, that is. But I mean, I could also mega Sceptile, which I kind of want to do. Now, I don't know about you, but mega evolving Pokemon does feel kind of nasty to do because some of the Pokédex entries for the mega evolutions are pretty disturbing. But thankfully Charizard's isn't that bad, so we should be pretty good. But I do love the fact that this turns our Charizard into a blue and black dragon, which is very similar to its shiny form. Okay, so for right now, let's work on Charizard, and I need to get myself a dragon fang, which means I need a razor fang. Do I have razor fangs? I do not have razor fangs, unfortunately. But now razor fang should be a drop that we can get from, well, annihilating Zubats. So yeah, that's a thing. I don't know how many Zubats I'm going to have to take on, but I'll keep doing it until I get the one I need. Oh, there's another one. Look at that. Perfect. Meanwhile, I'm down here hunting. It'll give me a chance to potentially get some more artifacts. I wouldn't mind that. Now, another mon that also drops it apparently is Giraffrig. I don't know why, but this has also a % chance to drop it. I may have a better chance with these guys because they do seem to spawn quite a bit more often. Just like the unevolved form, the evolved form. Yeah, it definitely drops it too, but still at a low rate. But I mean, that time we actually got it. So that might actually be the play to get this thing. It still says it's like a 2.5% chance. That's very low. But now combining this with a dragon gem, oh man, we have ourselves a dragon fang. Combine this with our Mega Stone, and we have Charizard X. Oh boy. Okay, and then all we have to do now is go up to Charizard and have it hold this item. And after it's holding this item, we should now have a Mega Evolution section. And when we click it, oh, that is sick. We now have a mega evolved chunky boy. Oh man, that is a glorious evolution. Absolutely love this. Oh, look at that. Oh, that is so sick. Does it modify any of our other stats? I think it's just the base stats. Either way, that is sick. Okay. And then riding it still like just as awesome, right? Oh, that is so cool. So cool. And we crashed into the wall. But still, now we have ourselves a Mega Charizard. Oh, man, we are really scaling up our mods. And we're still stuck at such a low level. I find this awesome. I mean, just look at those textures right there. Yes, black and blue. Now, I wonder, though, like, I'm not done setting up this mon just yet, but I'm wondering what other mons, and can we have multiple Megad all at once? Like, is that how this works? I mean, this does mean that we are going to have to go out. For example, maybe hit up a Savannah over here and search Mega and find ourselves a Mega site out here and see if we can find one. It shows there's one about 400 blocks away, but I don't know if this is like heading back home. Yeah, that's definitely heading back home. We're going to have to go further. Ooh, and I think I found another mega site. Yes, this one is not heading in the direction of my base. Oh, I'm excited. This is another chance for us to get another mega. I mean, I really want Sceptile as a mega, so this would work perfect for that. Ooh, and this one's really pretty. Oh man, this one spawned in like the perfect biome, all lit up and everything. All right, but down here, yet again, ah, beautiful. We have another Mega Stone. Now, for our Mega Sceptile, a Miracle Seed is all we're going to need for this one, so quite easy to get this crafted up. And Sceptile, I hope you're ready for this. I'm excited for this. One of my favorite Mons, and unfortunately missed in a generation. I did not get to see what this Mega Evolution was, so this is definitely new to me. Oh boy. Okay, so time to Mega Evolve? Oh wait, can you only have one Mega evolved at one time? Ah, that's interesting. So I can unmega this one, Charizard, and then we can Mega Sceptile, right? Oh, that is so cool. Okay, here we go. So yes, you can only have one Mega up at a time. I did not know that, and I'm kind of happy. That would be kind of OP. Let's do this. That's so sick. Oh, dude, Mega Sceptile, absolutely ridiculous looking. And then also we get the dragon typing, which is just absurd. This is fantastic, man. I still though, like, I don't know, like the fact that now that it's Mega Evolved can like shoot its tail off as a weapon, that's pretty cool. Turning into a true lizard. And now when I was saying it's going to be a grind, if you want to grind out every single one of these to be able to get a Mega Stone, you either have to do the Battle Tower, which is something that I don't know anything about just yet, but I'm sure we're going to get to be able to buy Mega Stones. You do have to go out in the world and grind for them. So just something to keep in mind. Either way, though, the fact that we have this one is so good. We've got to get Charizard leveled up. Now, this is the true min-maxing. So now that we know exactly what Mega Evolution we've gone for, we can now min-max for this. So it does say for the best spread for a physical sweeper, which is what Charizard is in this form, we need to put our EVs in attack and then also speed. And then with 4 remainder in our defense or HP. And while we were out searching for things, I think we have plenty of medicines to be able to get these stats up. So we can use our Carbos to raise the speed. And whenever we right click, we're going to notice when we go into our stats section and under EVs, that these stats are going to start raising slowly but surely. Notice my speed went up by 10 because these raise it up by 10, and we need to get this all the way up to 252. So yes, having a lot of these is definitely necessary because it is going to take a lot to get our EVs up to that spike. And so I'm going to stop at 250 as of right now and then start working on our attack stack. That's going to be the protein, and we need to click this 25 times. And so fantastic. Now we have them both at this particular level, but we are going to need to put a little bit of bonus in here. You can see this is at 99 and these do go up to 252. So we can actually waste a stat point here. So we can just simply click. That is now maxed. And if I try to give it more, it doesn't give it any more. And I can also max out on this and it's not going to give it any more. And it also doesn't go over the stat cap or anything like that. It is just simply going to put it at its max. And so we have a little bit of a remainder and we can either put it in HP or defense. I'm probably going to put it in HP. So we just go in here, we grab out our HP and just one click is all we need to do for that. And now we literally have a competitive Charizard with max stats. Look at that. I mean, this technically put 6 in here, which is kind of interesting because we shouldn't be able to max out all these stats. I don't believe if we can. Yeah, no. So it did put 6. Typically we'd put 4. Either way, this works out really, really well. And this guy is rocking. And I wonder if that goes up a little higher because of the Mega. Now, a few TMs that we want to learn. One is Dragon Dance, which I don't have it at the moment. I do believe Charizard will probably learn it. But we want to teach Flare Blitz. And I'm going to give it Flare Blitz. And then we also have Earthquake. And then there we go. We can now start to set this, and then also Dragon Claw. Now, when it comes to the moves I'm choosing, I'm definitely trying to go with more physical attacks. So all of these icons that have the physical, as these are the special attack. But now that right there is a gnarly Charizard. Now, there is one more thing that we can do to our Charizard to make it even better, and that is by modifying its nature. Not necessarily modifying and changing its nature, but switching the stat changes that the nature would apply. And it is recommended online to be able to change this to Jolly, or at least find one that's Jolly. To do this, we need, well, green mint leaves and also cyan mint leaves. And mints we have found all over the place. There's actually some mints right over here. So if you see these little plants, you definitely want to break them, as you can replant them all around. After getting all of these mints, we can just pop on over here and we can just plant them down one at a time. We are going to need one of each. And just like all of the other Cobblemon stuff, these can all be bone milled. So we can use this to change our Charizard's nature. So let's go ahead and open up the stats, and we can see that right now it's calm. And how is that affecting? Well, we get an increase in our special defense and a lowering in our attack, but that's not actually what we want. So we can click this, and now the stats have changed, but not actually changing the nature. So the nature is still calm, but when we hover over this, it says Jolly Mint, which is nice, which then changes our stats here, and we get speed and special attack boosts. Sorry, I mean speed boost and special attack reduction, because remember, we're physical attacking. So without further ado, let's put this to the test, and let's take on our Pokemon trainer Cedric, which, by the way, is like our rival or something, I do believe. There we go. And 3, 2, 1. I mean, honestly, have fun with my Mega Charizard, even though you probably have counters to it. Oh, wait. When it comes out, it's not Mega Evolved until I Mega Evolve it by clicking this. Okay, that's interesting. Whenever I went to click it, it didn't do anything. But still, we do have a really powerful Charizard regardless of this. So I do have a ground type move, but not a rock type move. And so this is not going to be affected, or shouldn't be affected, I believe, by ground type moves. So I'm just going to see how my physical attack is going to be against it. And so this probably, Fire Blitz is probably going to be one of the better things to use. Unless it changes out the Mon, which makes sense. Wow, that still did a ton of damage. I'm going to hit it with Dragon Claw instead. Possibly, yeah, I think Dragon Claw might be the better option here. Just completely destroyed. That swap out was such a bad idea. Okay, similar on this. This is affected by ground type. So Earthquake would be really, really good. That speed modifier is insane though. The fact that we're just sweeping. I love this. Okay, I absolutely love this. Okay, Dragon Claw again. All right, so it's gonna do a little evasion, but that's fine. We should be able to hit pretty good. Okay, so that didn't do as much as I thought it was going to do. Hitting it with a wing attack, honestly, the Fire Blitz is still going to be one of the stronger hitting moves against something that is not resistant to fire, of course. This guy is about to get destroyed. So we'll hit it with a wing attack 4 times effective. Wow. Charizard is absolutely insane right here. Just completely destroying. Wow, this completely changes the game. Like having, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. This is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. I'm just kidding. It's going to hurt you a lot. This Charizard is definitely surviving here, unless he items. No, he didn't even have a chance. And we did it. Oh man, we completely destroyed there. That was so good. Charizard is such a good mon. I tell you what, I really don't know what move to choose here. Maybe Amnesia. I wish it gave a description more. I mean, I don't think it even matters here. I'm going to go with Bulldoze. And now, as per normal, get out of here. You lost, so you die in real life. And that, my friends, is what the power of automation can do for you. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you did, be sure to smash that subscribe button if you haven't already, and give this video, guys, a huge thumbs up. And well, it's now time for me to thank the amazing supporter of today's episode. But not before we go after a shiny Hitmonlee that just spawned. Yep, and it's level 45. Oh my goodness. I don't think we're going to be able to do much, but I am definitely catching this. That is such a cool looking color too. I mean, I can false swipe him to death, I think. I doubt it though. I bet this is going to do absolutely nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's worth a shot though. Yeah, I mean, getting one hit KO'd is pretty gross. Pretty gross. But you know what? I'm just gonna go after it. I'm so afraid to take out Mons like this. Even if our whole team wiped, I'm just gonna catch it. And we got it. Oh, and it nearly wiped my entire team. Oh my goodness, that's great. I mean, there you go. You can't beat another shiny. And with the ability for us to increase stats, I'm not super worried about any of its stats. We can always change it, and this could be a really good mon for us, especially in the fighting category. But with that, I do want to give a huge thanks to Grandpa Wallbucks. Thank you so much for your amazing support and choosing to support me over on the Discord by becoming a Discord premium member and supporting my content in one of the best ways possible. Thank you so much, you absolute boss. And guys, I look forward to seeing you all in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.